Welcome to my pink room.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Oh, guys, welcome back to Once Upon a Time. Welcome back to Once Upon a Mental Crisis podcast. It is episode 4. What's love got to do with it?
What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it? Got to do with it?
Did you guys know Zai has an amazing singing voice? Well, welcome back. How's everyone doing? How are we doing? We're recording during the holiday weekend, so we're just kind of like
Out of it.
spaced out. I just woke up like 2-3 hours ago, so it is what it is.
It is. So, it's funny that we're talking about love today because I got a fight with my husband this morning.
Oh, girl, that's a team. I was a team. Well, hold on. How was your June, first of all?
June. Oh my god, what happened in June? Oh, just a lot of work. One big thing is, so I went back on my meds. Woo! I was gonna try to be the holistic kind of girl and just zen myself out without drugs, but medication. But I am at a point in my life where I need my emotions and my anxiety to be like balanced in order for me to feel productive and motivated, because at where I was, I stopped breastfeeding Inara. You don't realize it because it's not like, for me, it wasn't an immediate change of mood. It was very gradual. And then how I realized that I need to go back up on my dose. So my original dose while I was pregnant was 1.5 pills. Yeah. And then after I gave birth, we went down to 1 pill. At some point this year, I think it was like, late May, where I was just sitting in the couch and like I knew that there was stuff that needed to be done, but I just couldn't do it. And so I told my husband, like, I can't do it unless you do it with me. So we literally washed dishes together. I finally realized, I realized that, okay, I need to go back up on my meds because being anxious is not conducive to the things that I want to accomplish.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Hope you're feeling better. And
So back to the fight that I had with my husband this morning. It was because I realized that I had missed 1.5 of my doses and I hadn't eaten breakfast. So I was anxious and I was hangry.
Bad combination.
Yes. So I apologize, my husband.
But other big things happened in June with your positivity catchers.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure you were talking about something else.
No.
So yes, I make sun catchers, and just last weekend actually, my friend and I, Lisa, she owns River and Becks. We did a vendor fair together on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was downtown Milwaukee, and then on Sunday was on my driveway. And I realized that it's time that Positivity Catchers gets its own Instagram and Facebook page. Woo!
It'll be right here, hopefully. Please follow Zai's creations at Positivity Catchers on Instagram, and that's it, right?
Facebook.
Or Facebook too.
Yeah.
So yeah. As for me, nothing really eventful happened. I think I'm in a weird, like, stagnant funk in my life where I'm just trying to figure this shit out.
Ain't we all?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm in the red zone and I'm just like coasting, trying to stay afloat. But I know that this is just temporary and I know things will get better once I put my ass into action again. So bear with me. That's all. So this episode is about love, marriage, dating, and relationships. All the hot stuff, all the fun stuff, the difficult things. As just a review for those who don't know, I am single, 33 and single, and Zai is
34 and married.
with
For 7 years with 1 and almost half-year-old.
Oh my god, just 1.5
Bye-bye.
years old.
Okay, so yes, thank you for tuning in. We're talking about, yes, love, marriage, dating, relationships. We've been through it. I know y'all been through it.
I'm still going through it.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the journey of dating. Okay? Experiences through dating and what we thought dating was supposed to be before we actually started dating. Do you think of dating?
I think when I think of the question, I think I revert back to like 13-year-old or 14-year-old Macy, because that's where like all the fantasizing, you know, like you're grown up and groomed to like see all or even all of the ways that a relationship is romanticized in movies, films, and even the people around you. And I always think of it as romantic because I'm like, I am a romantic myself. And I feel like still to this day, I just want to do all the cute stuff with my significant other. I always feel like it, to me, always feels exciting. It always feels like, again, all the cute stuff. But when you're an adult, it's like you realize, oh, there's hardships too. And that's normal. Like, I've learned to accept that. And I'm prepared for that and all those things. You know, I think that the difficult part dating now versus then is like, who am I now and how can I tackle those hardships with another person? You know, so yeah.
I mean, I agree. Like, I think not all, because I don't want to generalize, but most of us girls and women, we grew up with Disney, you know? We grew up with K-dramas, Chinese dramas, where like romance is just like this whimsical, dreamy, like I am definitely a hopeless romantic, you know. Especially before I started dating my husband. Like, I was like, this is what I want to do. These are the dates that I want to go on. Like when I want him to propose to me, I want it to look like this and this and this and this. And like everything's just like pink, sparkly, and lovely, right? You want love and romance and all the gift and the cuddlies and the kisses.
I love the cuddles. The pillow talk. I love the pillow talk.
Yeah. But then you actually start dating someone and then you're like, oh.
How is it to date someone? So it's been over 7-8 years since I've dated someone, so that's where I'm coming from. I've been on dates. Okay, also talking about dates, the dating world and like its definitions has changed throughout the years since when we were younger versus now. Oh,
for sure.
Because if you're going on dates with someone, it's considered dating, you know. And I'm like, to us, it was dating as when you're in a relationship with someone. So things have changed. So I've been going on dates, and it's been like fun experimenting and just like seeing how I handle dates or people I'm talking to now. So it's been interesting. But yeah, go on. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair to bring that up. I mean, me too. I haven't dated anyone for like 7-8 years now.
I became single. You got married. How funny.
Yeah.
So what is dating really, and how it's like? Lay down the facts.
It's hard to lay down the facts because I feel like you said earlier, like the definition of dating has changed and how people see each other now have changed. Like expectations are different.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so like for when I was dating my husband, oh my god, look, it feels so long ago. But back then, before we became official, like before we started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't think I would have said that I was dating him, but just talking to him or like, you know, hanging out, right?
It's to like get to know each other face.
Right, exactly. And then once we started becoming an official couple, then we were dating and we were, you know.
I prefer that way.
Yeah.
I prefer those definitions a lot better. It's like more simplified.
Yeah, and like it's not as complicated, you know? If you like someone, you like someone.
Exactly.
Why you gotta make it so hard?
I know.
But I also understand it too, because
Do you think
there's a
it's-
lot that goes into it.
Do you
Go
think
ahead.
it's like the lack of communication, and also like people are afraid to talk about these things, and that's why we have so many like blurred boundaries?
So this is my thought process, okay?
Okay.
So we're the millennials, and so there's the boomers are above us, right? And then the Gen Z is below us,
Yes.
right? So us millennials, we're at a very like interesting generation.
Yeah. When it comes to marriage and dating relationships.
Well, just like
or-
a lot of things, like a lot of generational
true.
values,
Values,
values. There you go.
yeah.
Like my oldest brother, he's like late 30s, and he's traditional. He's more traditional. What we all have in common is that we have parents who are super traditional, and so we had to grow up trying to figure out how to have a healthy marriage, but also still romanticizing like what marriage is.
Sure.
Right? So like we want love, we want romance, we want, perfection and like everything, but then we weren't really sure how to really achieve that. So like our only example were our parents.
Mm-hmm.
But now Gen Z, now that they've seen us grow through it, and some of their parents are actually millennials,
Mm-hmm.
now they're like, okay, so we see what our parents have done. Some of them have had good marriages, some of them had really bad marriages. And now that we know a little bit more about mental health, what can I do to avoid all that trauma and heartbreak? And because this is, because of all that, they're like, I'm just gonna avoid it and not put labels on things, or they're just gonna fall right into the same cycle again. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really good perspective.
Thank you. Well, that's because I feel like I am down the rabbit hole of TikTok sometimes, and I just think about all the people that I have around me who like are in
for sure.
relationships,
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one particular person who
I hope he's listening.
who I feel like. He does have some issues for sure, but he's making it way more complicated than it needs to be. But at the same time, too, like he did have a point.
His feelings and experiences are valid.
Yeah. And it's like, does it really matter if we put a label on it? Because I still like them as a person. I'm like,
At the end of the day, doesn't bother me. Doesn't involve me. So I'm good. Anyways, next.
well, no, I'm not just talking about him, but I'm just talking about like people who think that way. Like,
Sure.
is that reasonable way of thinking?
Maybe they just need to go some kind of therapy though. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of counsel to talk it out, to understand why they think this way, and find solutions. Because I think at the end of the day, we just want healthy relationships. So I think talking it out, finding different perspectives on what relationship is, can help.
But like through my personal experience, like I said earlier, like we were talking and then we were like, yeah, we like each other, let's start dating. Like, how simple was that?
I love simpleness.
I know.
Not my life. No, so I went to this, when I was like 14.
But you started the relationship.
Yeah,
at
I
14.
started the relationship at 14, and it was like, yeah, like I liked him, he liked me, and we got to know each other for a month, and then he asked me out to be his girlfriend. Dating for me was, I was in a very long-term relationship for 10 years, and it was exactly like what I had thought it would be. Like, it was romantic. Of course, there was little bumps in the road when we first started dating, but I think just be on the same page and like keeping that relationship strong was like the key, I guess, in the beginning. And I don't know, for me, I'm a very youthful person. I like to say, like, of course, relationships do get boring. Let's just face the facts. Like, it does get boring from time to time, and sometimes there are moments when you don't grow with this person, and then sometimes you had adventures, and it's okay. I think that's pretty normal in relationships to go your ups and downs. I gotta say, just don't stop growing together. I think like that's the key too. So back to me being youthful, I think I always know how to keep it fun. No, you know.
Yeah.
Keep the relationship fun, keep it fresh here and there, like, but not put a whole ass pressure on just to be fun. Like, let it flow the way it should flow. Honestly, every relationship goes through this, but I started out this relationship, or we'd start out this relationship as teenagers, and then we kind of like we became adults. So like growing together is so key when you're going through so many changes together. So it's just really navigating those changes. It's like a make it or break it.
Yeah, for sure. And
Even as you,
Yeah.
like from boyfriend girlfriend to being married couples, and even as parents now, like it's a whole evolution, you know.
Yeah, like definitely there's a big difference between just dating someone and then finally marrying someone. We didn't live together before getting married. Well, we kind of did. We got engaged and then we moved in together. Yeah. But then we got married like the year afterwards. So, like, you know, for some people, we had a very short dating period because we were only together for like a year and a half, and then we got engaged, and then another year later we got married. I feel like for nowadays people, that's really fast for some people.
But look at it at ages though, because ages look different and every.
Well, we were
we were
mid 20s.
Mid 20s.
Yeah, we got married
that was
when
considered quick.
Yeah, we were married. We met each other when I was 24 and he was 25, and then we got engaged at 26, and then we got married at 27.
I say that because when you say that now, when you imagine like you're in your 30s, it's like you're dating for like a year and a half or two, and you get married. Like that's kind of normal now.
Yeah, I know.
As in your 30s.
Yeah, like for someone who went through everything that I had, like, yeah, I feel like it would have been better if we had more time to date. Would we have lasted? I really don't know. But because of my values and his values, we worked through it. Like, I don't ever want to be married ever again. I only want him. And if we, for some reason, don't make it, I don't know if I could get married again. Like, if he leaves me, if he dies, like, I'm like, nope, not doing this all over again. But of course, I'm just saying that because of the current situation. We don't know the future. But there's a lot of things that happen that challenges your relationship, like during dating. You know, my parents are traditionally Hmong, and then he is white American, so like that was a challenge in itself. Like when I told him that.
So we're bringing interracial relationships and dating into this now.
Oh well, yeah, I guess so. Naturally, my biggest fear of marrying outside of my culture was the bride price.
Very debatable, controversial topic.
Yes, because as much as I'm a rebellious girl, like I don't give an F about Hmong tradition sometimes. But the one thing that I wanted to do for my parents was to follow that tradition.
Okay.
Like to show them, hey, I know I'm not marrying someone who is Hmong, but I'm still gonna respect the custom, and I'm still going to like not run away and actually get properly married, because that was their biggest fear for me, was that I was going to marry someone outside the culture, or that I was going to get pregnant outside of wedlock. And when I brought up the bride price to my husband, I was so terrified because I really like this dude, right? And I was like, oh, he's not going to want me now.
Yeah, he's going to see this so foreign. But hey, we're married now. Hi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my dad said no returns, so.
I've had my fair share of interracial dating before too. When I was in middle school. Well, even in my family, it's pretty diverse. Like we have a half Native American, half Hmong niece, and then a few Hmong white kids, and a half black, half Hmong. So it's like in the beginning, my parents were so resistant to it, but when they kind of just like my siblings started dating others, they were just like, my parents are very welcoming.
I mean, it's unavoidable. Like, we live in America. America is the land of diversity, right? So to expect your children to stay traditional is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, like I understand the importance of marrying within your ethnic group, your community, but you know, it's inevitable when you are an immigrant in a different country.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure.
I respect both and I love both, and then love is love for everyone and gender. But yeah, but now at 33 single, my mom is like, I won't even be surprised if you end up marrying a white guy. At this point, just marry a white guy, because it's life is easier when you marry a white guy. I'm like, you know what? I'll think about it.
Life is kind of easier.
Yeah. But I guess back to like what dating really is now, even now at my age, it's definitely a lot more difficult because again, all the definitions, and I'm just gonna air it out, be honest with my dating my dating history now. It's like I get the young 28-year-olds who are just want to have fun and not ready to settle down, and then I have like 39 or like 38 and older 40s who are divorced with kids. So it's like I can't win. So like this is like currently the trajectory of my dating history, because a majority of people at my age are already settled down, or it's really rare to find the person I'm looking for who I'm compatible with at my age. So
yeah, dating is hard. Like even when I was in my mid-20s, and like I worked with kids, so I didn't really have an outlet to like find anyone, so I did online dating. That's when like online dating was just really like getting popular, and that's how I found my husband. And like then, you know, we were just like, I just want to meet anybody. Like I really don't care. Well, I can't say that because I had like high standards back
I'm like,
then.
I should care at least about who I'm dating. What the fuck?
Well, like a part of it was like, I just want to meet people.
Right.
Like I'll go on a date with almost anybody.
Yeah.
Because I just want to get to know people. I want to like find someone. And then, you know, when I did online dating, I went on a lot of dates with a lot of people. I was just trying to find anybody to like connect with. But this is where my thinking kind of coincides with nowadays younger kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not just gonna marry anybody. I'm really gonna think it through. Like before I commit, I'd be like boyfriend and girlfriend. Like I want to have this person be someone who really respects me and respects my boundaries, and you know, all this. It's much more complicated now that I've been through all of it. So like that's why it's hard. It's a sticky situation because it's hard to find someone who is compatible with you, because you have to then be vulnerable and you have to open up to someone. But then once you do open up to someone and become vulnerable, that also gets you at risk of being hurt and disappointed.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, even though I said all those things, like what my current dating history is now, or trends and patterns, I enjoy like being single and dating currently because like I'm learning so much about myself. Like there is so much, there's a lot rewarding things regardless of how difficult dating is, but like I'm learning about myself, I'm healing myself, I'm learning about my different like my attachments. I think it's really fun. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's what I always tell everybody who like is scared to like jump into something. Like it's not about automatically getting into a relationship. It's about learning about yourself and the other person and how you guys fit together. That's the fun part about dating. It's like if you don't worry about too much, you just enjoy each other and just have fun.
All right, so now that you get into a relationship, how do we build a strong relationship? The importance of communication, honesty, and setting boundaries. So when you talked about setting, like respecting boundaries, what have you experienced that were difficult?
So the biggest hurdle that we went over as a couple was communication, because without communication you can't really, you can have your boundaries, but then your partner won't know anything about it, right? I mean, we've always talked about like what we wanted in relationship, what we wanted in marriage, and like
You know what? That we should talk about that. Like when you're going to get into a relationship, what are you looking for? What should you look for?
Well, back then I was looking for stability.
As I am too.
Yeah.
Even though it may look different to different people, because everyone has different needs. Like, yeah, stability is like so important. Yeah, you don't want like unstableness and consistency.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah, I was just looking for someone who had something going on in their life, like someone who that I felt like I could depend on.
Going on in their life, as in like a job, as like a passion, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like a job. Like
Okay.
they weren't like living with their parents. Like this was my whole list. Was like they had to have a car, they had to have a job, and if they were living with their parents, that they were going to move out, or they were living on their own. So like I just was looking for someone who, was secure, independent, and I wasn't the one who had to take care of them.
Oh, exactly. Big facts.
Yeah, when my husband and I, we started dating, we actually did talk a lot. There was a lot of talking and a lot of like just getting to know each other. And we, right before we got engaged, actually, we talked about expectations of marriage. So we did talk about that stuff.
And also, like, where do we see ourselves?
Exactly.
In a year or 5 years from now. Like, do you want to get married?
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, we were on the same page. I think what made it hard afterwards was we actually started living together. And that's where a lot of things come in, because you're seeing each other every day. And you're learning more about, each other on a daily basis and what their routines are,
habits.
and their habits are.
Living lifestyle.
Exactly.
Very important.
Yeah. And one of my biggest things that I used to do was I would hold everything inside and shut down. And then when I couldn't take anymore, that's when it bursted out. And that's still one of the things that I still do sometimes. But of course I work on it. These kind of situations where like communication is very important, because when I did that, he would become upset, and then the situation would just escalate and get worse. And so it was very important that even though it was hard for me to express my emotions, I still had to do it.
I think that's difficult for a majority of people. I mean, it's not at your fault either, but it's like how we grew up also.
Yeah.
And that plays a huge factor in how we express our emotions. So how honest should we be in a relationship?
I think, honestly, we want to say 100%, but if we're honest, I would say like 90%.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because you don't want to be 100% honest, because sometimes your honest thoughts are not so nice,
Yeah. For me, like, clarity and honesty is a huge value of mine, or priority. Like, I don't want to be with someone who hides a lot of things and is like really
Yeah, for
private.
sure.
It's like, because I'm a person who's an open book. Like, I'm like vulnerable, and I'm like, I expect the same frequency with the same, like, my partner, and it makes me, and also, like, if you can't be honest with me, like, how much do you trust me? And like that plays with trust as well, so yeah, like, but honest, when it comes to honesty, like, keep your surprises and your planning as a secret, but everything else, be honest with me.
Yeah. As someone who it was hard for me to be honest with my husband, the reason was I was afraid to hurt him,
Oh, for sure.
I didn't want him to feel disappointed. I didn't want him to feel like he was lacking in any way. But in actuality, I needed to voice that he was lacking, in my opinion, because then eventually those feelings would become resentment.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And then, that's how marriages break. It's like you don't talk, you don't figure things out together, you just hide it in, and then the next thing you know, you're fed up, and then you just leave.
Yeah, I think like giving honesty is like giving feedback. It helps mold and like improve the relationship in any way you can. And if like sometimes if relationships break up because of like this communication or honesty, then it wasn't compatible to begin with. You realize the truth, and wouldn't you rather have that than live years and years of like just living a lie kind of situation? So yeah,
and like it's not just being honest too, it's about how you receive the honesty as well, because some people don't receive that feedback in a good way. They just see it as criticism and critique, and not really understanding that, hey, this person is just expressing their emotions and what their perspective is. It doesn't really mean or say anything towards you as a person, because when you're in a relationship, you get two completely different people. Like, this is the fight that I had with Ty this morning, is I see things one way and he sees things another way. So here I am, like, going about my morning, and like all these emotions are building up because I'm seeing things, and like I feel like this is something common that a lot of women have. I don't know about a lot of men, but you can always correct me. But we'll go about our day, and as we're doing things, we're also thinking through things, and like we're picking up on certain things, and like here I am, and then I'm just getting like more and more like built up frustration, because like for me, I was getting things done, and like I noticed that he didn't do this one thing, and so I was like getting angry, and I finally expressed my emotions, and then it was up to him how he received it. This is something that we still work on, of course, but what is, I feel like, most important is that he heard me out, and that's what I think, that's what keeps the relationship going. It's like I can be honest and he can receive it, and then we figure it out together.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you guys, like, because of course there'll be an ongoing like communication and like risks and everything. So how do, at the end of the day, how do you guys just come back together? How do you guys like both compromise?
Yeah. Well, of course, since we just had the fight, there's still residual like emotions, right? I think for us, it's like, do we want to figure this out or not?
Mm-hmm.
If we do, then we'll come back together and we'll be like, okay, so this happened this morning, and I feel like I did this because I was feeling this way, and then he would say how he was feeling, and then we would try to come to a compromise. How do you feel about compromises?
Fresh out of the breakup, it was a very difficult topic for me, because I realized that like we didn't really compromise much in the relationship. Me and my ex, we were really like chill people, and we just kind of like molded together, and just like we're the most chill people or couple, I don't know how to say this, but like, so like if we just let things flow, and I'm sure he's compromised a lot for me, because sometimes I'm like, I think I'm the type who's like, I want it my way kind of a thing. I'm like, oh, I'm a spoiled brat, so like I like things my way as well, but it's not like to a very like bad degree. I'm just like very sassy and bratty. So I'm aware he compromised a lot for me, but there were things that I couldn't compromise for him, and I think that was what the issue was. I believe. So me learning how to compromise in a relationship was very difficult for me because I'm like, how the heck do you compromise? Although I feel like I didn't compromise things for him, there are things that I it's kind of weird to think this way, but like compromised myself for. Like I was willing, because I'm a giving person, and I was like willing to give so much of my life for this, and I was willing to do it. And at the end, it was just like, this wasn't like the end game, I guess. But right now, I guess it still depends. Like, I still believe in that I should never give up my self-love for someone else. Like, there are things that I will stand on, and like how I value myself and how I respect myself. And I'm willing to meet my partner halfway, you know? So
yeah, that goes hand in hand with setting boundaries, you know? Like, my husband has told me that these are his expectations of a marriage. Like, I shouldn't be so vague, I should just say it. Like, he has said the only way that he'll ever leave me or divorce me is if I cheat on him.
Oh, okay.
So that's his boundary.
Yeah.
And that's literally, I think, his only boundary that he has.
Valid.
Yeah. Other than that, like, he's like, you can do whatever.
Because cheating is infidelity.
Yeah.
In a marriage.
Yeah.
Literally.
I guess for me, like, I'm trying to think about any boundaries I have, and I really don't. Like,
Do you?
Do I have any boundaries with you?
No, but I have boundaries with you because she's the one who's always leaning into me. Wait, so you don't have boundaries with your husband?
Yeah, like...
So, but then back to his, like, don't cheat on me. That's an expectation, then. That's not a boundary.
Yeah, so I guess that's why it's hard for me to, like, bring up a boundary because, like, I guess we don't really have any. Like, we let each other do pretty much whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, like, we respect each other, and, like, if I'm gonna go do something, then I'm gonna tell him about it. If he's gonna go and do something, then he's gonna tell me about it. So, like, I guess we've never really done anything that overstepped each other.
Yeah.
So, like, we've never really set boundaries. Because, like you were saying, you know, like, you want to be able to be who you are. And,
Exactly.
And, like, express yourself and, like, still love yourself, right? And so, like, I guess that's for us. We don't want to, like, put that limitation on each other because he is who he is.
And that's a good sign.
I am.
Yeah, and that's a good sign. What do you think about compromising? Have you compromised?
I think marriage is all about because you're entering a union together with another person. So, like, there are parts of you that you do have to kind of let go of. Like I said, I can't just leave the house without telling my husband.
You cannot. You absolutely cannot.
No.
He's only blink once if you need help.
But jokes aside, yeah, like, I have to tell him where I'm going because
it's just communication.
Yeah, it's just
what if
like,
she gets kidnapped?
Exactly. Like,
shit.
Yeah, if I get kidnapped, I want him to know where I am so
Wait, don't you guys have the app? Do you get the app, didn't you?
The what?
The location app, or like?
Yeah, we share locations.
Yeah.
And now Apple lets you check in when you're coming home.
Oh. Creepy. I'm kidding. Do you think I could compromise in a marriage? I'm worried about myself.
Talk more about you too.
Do you think I'm a person who's willing to compromise?
No.
Oh no! I'm doomed!
Are we talking about honesty here?
Why? Why is that?
Because you're very all about yourself. But yes, queen as well. Like, yes, be all about yourself. I think it just depends on what you're compromising on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've been really compromising, accepting. For example, I'm willing to compromise that someone has kids. You know, isn't that a big one?
Yeah.
See? So I'm like...
No, I'm just spiteful.
Why? Oh, why? The honesty here now. Back to you.
It's just spiteful because you don't accept my love.
I do accept your love. It's overflowing and I'm drowning in it sometimes.
I guess, am I a love bomber?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not like with bad intentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe you just don't recognize the extent of love you throw out.
Yeah, I guess so.
And the intensity. Yeah?
I'm
don't
an
know.
intense lover.
I mean, do you show intense love to your husband?
Yes.
And how does he receive it?
With open arms.
Good. That's why she has a husband. And that's why she shouldn't do that with me. Do that to your husband. Anyways. But do you honestly don't think I can compromise?
Well, if I really think about it, it just depends on what you're
Of
compromising on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think I would have difficulty compromising? Because, like, I feel like I am willing to sacrifice so much for a person. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice moving to a different city for a person, you know? Not like now, currently, but in my track record, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm willing to sacrifice so much. So, like, when people say, like, I'm selfish or, like, I'm not a compromisable person, I'm just like, but I'm willing to do this. I don't get it. So,
You know what? You
Anyways.
healthy girl. Never mind.
am I okay? I'm just concerned about my own self. Like, I want to be a person who can compromise. Like, it's something I want to overcome. You know, I don't want to be a selfish person. But it depends on what it is.
Yeah. Maybe it's not that you're not able to compromise, but I feel like you're very self-aware. And because you're so self-aware that if, like, something or someone comes up and it doesn't align with you right away, then it takes you a little bit to understand it and align with it.
Yeah. And also my fear of compromising. It's very compromising. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this for you, but then it fails. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I did this for what? So I was willing to compromise 10 of my fucking years to someone. So it's like, what more should I prove to someone that I love them? And that's why acts of service is not my top. It's like, regress. Moving on. Marriage.
Yeah, so marriage. Okay, as someone who has thought of getting married but hasn't gotten married yet,
Okay.
would you just do it for love?
No. You know what? And that's the difference when we were younger to now. It's like, I was in a 10-year relationship for love. And then I work. And so it teaches you, oh, it's not just about fucking love. You know, it's a lot more. So, do you think we should do it for love?
Yes.
Damn.
But not just for love.
It's done. Jeez, made me feel like I'm the bad one here.
So, I think marriage should be rooted in love, but the foundation needs to be set in multiple other things, and then continuous nurture in love.
For sure. I don't know why it's coming to my mind, but, like, marriage is like, love is the soil, and it's like what you plant, and it needs, like, sunlight, and it needs rain and fertilizer, and that makes a good marriage. And so, like, love should be, like, the rooted, like, part, the foundation. No, not the foundation. You didn't say that, but
I did say that.
well, foundation is other things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, like, love should be the soil. It is the main overarching thing, but it's not the only thing in a marriage or relationship. But
Yeah. Why did I bring up this question, though? Why do you think I brought up this question?
I don't know. Are you asking yourself this?
No, I'm asking you and the audience.
Because people have this misconception. I'm not sure if I'm using this word right, but misconception that marriage is all about love.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's about bills, about house, about family and kids, and all those factors.
Oh, yeah, because, like, I think back to when I was younger, before I even started dating my husband, and, like, you know, what we talked about is, like, how we envisioned marriage and, like, dating and all that stuff. And for me to be in my early 20s, wanting to get married and, like, being in a relationship, like, I think I was so blinded by the romance of being in love that I didn't really recognize all of that came with being married.
Yeah. Even right now, as a person who's never been married, it's like when I think about marriage and family, when I was, like, in my 20s thinking about those things, I just want to be with the person I love and have a family with them. But nowadays, people are telling me not to get married. So now I'm just like, damn, how does it feel like to be on the other side? Like, it's so foreign to me, you know? But does it have to be? I don't know.
I said that to her once.
Mm-hmm. A couple times.
Yeah. Why did I say that? Why do you think I said that?
It was you and Posse.
Yeah.
Even though people tell me about these things, not get married, I still want to get married. And I don't think that should be a sad, like a bad thing to say, you know?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just us like venting because we went into our relationships hoping for perfection. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. Like, I went into my marriage thinking that everything was gonna be rainbows and butterflies, but it's not. It's lightning, it's thunder, it's whirlwinds, tornadoes, and then here and there you will have rainbows and butterflies.
Supernovas and mass destruction of the universe.
Yeah, I'm mostly the supernova. Like, when I get mad,
You're the Leo.
yeah. You know, for people who are still dreamy weemy, I'm not telling you to stop being dreamy weemy. Yeah.
This is a new word. I love it.
It is a new word.
I love it.
I like making new words. But yeah, like, still, you know, my marriage is still romantic. Like, when I sleep next to him, I don't think of anybody else that I want to sleep next to. And when I cuddle him, it's the best. It's the best ever. And I want that for you 100%.
Oh, for sure. I miss those nights.
Like, I want you to find someone that you can fight with and then make up with.
And have had sex with.
Yes. What does it mean to grow together?
Kind of mentioned it before.
Yeah, you
it's
did.
It's just like growing together through the not even like tough and easy times, but like as individuals. Because that's kind of what it taught me was like you're actually both not. Yes, you are a team, and that's my thing. I wanted to mention is like for me, I saw marriage and a relationship as like being a team. And I felt like maybe that was like what was missing in my last relationship, and because maybe I wasn't being the team player, I wasn't carrying my end of the load. But moving forward, I do want to be like a team. You know, it's not like you two make a whole. Like you're just both teams and you're both individuals, and growing together as individuals, like. What if someone wants to have a career change? What if someone wants to move to a different city? What if someone doesn't want to have kids? You know? So all those play a part together when growing together. And what if someone has an illness or cancer and you have to go through those fights, you know, those battles together? So life is already hard enough, and why not just be a team through it all? So...
Yeah, well, I completely agree. Yeah, my husband and I, we did a lot of growing up together. I think the reason why I brought up the question was I feel like there's some people out there who feel like they have to be their sole person completely before getting into a relationship or getting married. Not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing. I feel like you kind of miss out on growing up with someone too.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's a beautiful thing, you know, to be able to be a unit and like grow up simultaneously and still be able to make it work and see the difference that between you and them from when you guys first started being together until now. I think that's a very beautiful thing, and just because someone isn't like perfect now, or even if you don't feel like you're perfect now, you're not going to be the same person that you are today than you will be tomorrow. So I guess that goes with my like, don't let fear stop you from taking risk. Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things that I feel like you don't compromise on.
What, fear?
Yeah.
What? Please go into details.
Like, I feel like sometimes you let your fear determine your next step.
Okay. So what, for example, when it comes to relationships?
Not just in general.
Oh, in general, bitch. No, I'm talking about relationships and marriage. I'm like, So how does that relate to compromising?
Like if they're not like where you feel like they are, you want them to be.
Yes. I agree with what you said too, that people can become who they whatever when they grow and blah blah. But then I also don't want to wait around for them,
Which is valid too.
for them to be that person for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So when they're not, end. No, not completely. No, but yeah, because I think just to justify myself, felt like I waited for someone to be. I learned from my past.
That's
I
fair.
learned my lesson, and I'm not going to be waiting for someone. And Maya Angelou once said, if someone shows you who they are, believe it. So that's what I've been carrying my whole life. Okay. But no, it's not like I don't give them grace. Like I allow people so much grace, and I'm like, but okay, and I have to see action as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't just believe in your words. Like I have to see action, steps taken towards who you want to become. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I feel like I used to feel very naive when I was younger, and sometimes I still do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just, I observe other people's relationships, and I observe mine, and sometimes I'm like, am I just looking for things to pick on my husband? Because, like, it's not, right now, our relationship isn't that bad. Like, we talk through things a lot, and like, yeah, we fight, but the next day we're like, whatever.
So couples therapy? Have you both considered it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we were going through a roughest patch, yeah, I wanted to, but he didn't.
Okay, so yeah, never.
Nope.
Would I go through couples therapy? First of all, I just went through therapy so I can understand what therapy means for people. Would I go through with it? But that's a futures problem. So I'm not there yet. But I'm open to it. I mean, if me and my future partner ever gets there where we need a third person's perspective, then heck yeah, I guess we should. You know, if it's like the last resort to save a relationship, then I would, you know? I was saying, would I have gone to couples therapy with my last relationship? Honestly, we both needed therapy individually. I mean, I needed it, so like it probably helped us become better people.
Yeah, well, so with that being said, like, do you think it's better to go to therapy first individually or to go to therapy together?
First, I think individually.
Yeah.
You never know. And I think it's like if you're diving to therapy for the first time, you don't know if you're comfortable with it. Like, just see how it is for yourself, see the benefits of it, and then maybe then when you both go into it, you both can know what to expect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened with us. Except for I went to therapy.
Has he? Would you like him to go to therapy?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
But I think at this point I would rather just do couples therapy.
Okay.
Because I've done the work. I mean, if he wants to, he definitely can. Even with his decision, I got him to at least work on some stuff with me. So I think that's why it's worked out so far. It's like we did a love language. We read the book together. We did some worksheets together. And he's always willing to talk things out with me. We'll see if we ever do, but as of right now, things are okay.
Good. Better. I feel like we went through our whole like agenda, but I feel like we just scratched the surface of like relationships and marriage and whatnot. Like there's so much I want to talk about, but we'll save that for next time, I guess.
For me, the highlights is don't jump into marriage without knowing what you're getting into.
Bam, Macy gets married in 3 months. You know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, like marriage is beautiful. It's great. Like we are a cute ass family, but it also takes a lot of hard work. And if you aren't ready to put in the work in yourself, like not in the marriage, but in like you yourself, then don't go into a marriage hoping that everything's gonna work out.
Another thing too, people, what we see on social media, people only see the highlights. You know, people don't really see the ugly side of marriages and relationships. And it's not like to encourage people to air the dirty laundry more, but it's just like to recognize that it's not always rainbows.
Yeah. But with that being said, don't be afraid of marriage either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, because it's when it works, it's beautiful.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for listening to our episode on love, marriage, dating, blah, 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 blah. Follow us, like us, share the episode. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yes.
Share with us your marriage tips, dating tips, advices. Freaking,
And tea. Share us your
if
tea.
you know anyone, a bachelor for me, hello, I'm single.
Macy Yang.
Just DM me. I'll let you know what my requirements are, my non-negotiables, who I'm looking for. I'm looking for like 30 to like probably 40 something. So hello.
Come on knocking.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh shit! It's recording.